Okay, good day students. So let's continue our rationalization for thermodynamics, electricity, and magnetism. So I'm very sorry if there is a background noise that you're going to hear in this video. Just please focus your mind on my voice, okay? Para magkasinabot ta. Okay? So number 41, which of the following are characteristics of a series na circuit? Okay? So the current that flows through each resistance is the same as the total current throughout the circuit. Number 2, the sum of all the individual voltage drops is the same as the applied voltage. Number 3, the reciprocal of the total resistance is equal to the sum of the reciprocal of the separate resistances. Okay? And statement number 4, the voltage drop in each resistance is the same as the magnitude of the applied voltage. Again, this is a series circuit. The question is asking about the characteristic of a series na circuit. Again, in the series na circuit, yung total current is the same with the individual current in each resistors nga mo flow through. Okay? And the voltage, however, is not the same because the voltage in a series na circuit will drops if it kiniang mulabay siya sa one resistor, okay, and then the other resistor will have different amount na of voltage because again in each resistor nga in the series circuit the voltage will drop, so the second resistor will have a lower resistance, lower voltage compared to the first na resistor nga voltage. Okay? In parallel circuit naman, yung voltage, yung total voltage at saka yung voltage in each resistors are the same. However, the current in each resistor in a parallel circuit is not the same. Okay? So the best answer here is only statement 1 and statement 2. The current that flows through each resistance is the same as the total current throughout the circuit. And the sum of all the individual voltage drops is the same as the applied voltage. By the way, statement 2, I think, is best explained by Kirchhoff's law. Okay? So, Kirchhoff's law yung nag-explain ng statement number 2. So, again, the correct answer is letter A, 1 and 2 only because statement 3 and statement 4 talks about parallel na nga circuit. Okay? So, the correct answer here is letter A, statement 1 and 2 only. 42, which states that the sum of all the potential rises and potential drops in any loop, closed circuit, is 0. Okay, so again, this is the Kirchhoff's law. Okay, letter B ang ato ang answer aniya. In series, again, the voltage will drop and the sum of all the voltage drop is equal to the total voltage nga di-apply sa isa ka circuit. It is best explained by Kirchhoff's law. Coulomb's law is just the force of attraction or repulsion between two charged particles indirectly proportional to the product, is directly proportional to the product of their charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So we have here the equation ng force. We have here force is equal to Coulomb Constant, yung K, times charge 1 times charge 2 over the distance squared between ng dalawang charges. Okay? Law of Electrolysis is also known as Faraday's Law of Electrolysis. It talks about the relationship between the amount of electric charge passed through an electrolyte and the amount of chemical reaction that occurs at the electrodes. So, Ohm's Law, it states the relationship ng current, voltage, and resistance. Okay? So, here, sa Ohm's Law, the current through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the voltage across the 2 points and inversely proportional to the resistance between them. Okay, so again, number 42, the answer is letter B, Kirchhoff's law. 43. A television and an electric fan are connected in a parallel tap of 220 volts line. The current in television is 8 ampere and the electric fan is 3 ampere. Okay? What is the current flowing in the line? Okay? So, let's say for example, meron tayo dito 220 volts na battery and it is connected in parallel sa TV, okay, this one, and sa electric fan, okay, sa fan, E-fan, okay, E-fan. So, they are in parallel, si TV at saka sa electric fan. So, in parallel, okay, yung current, okay, let me have another color here, purple, okay, yung current flowing through this wire, okay, ano ba yung arrow natin? Let me erase that one. Okay, yung current flowing through that wire is the same, okay, yung current na mugawas gikan sa ato ang battery, okay, is the same current nga mubalik pasulod sa ato ang battery. Okay, so this one here, let's say for example, this is point A and this one is point B, this one is point C, point D, and point E, and this one is point E. Point E na tama. So, yung current flowing through point A to B is equal to the current flowing from E to A. Okay? So, si TV daw na ay current nag-flow sa iya which is 8 ampere. Okay? And then sa electric fan, we have 3 ampere for electric fan. Okay? So, ang 8 ampere sa current will pass through in this wire here, padulong kang gikan kang point E, padulong kang A, and the 3 ampere na current, okay, from point C to D or D to E, okay, will join with the 8 ampere na gikan sa TV na current. Okay, so if they're going to join, they will add up yung current na. So 8 plus 3, so this one here will have 11 ampere. So since yung current between E to A is equal to the current from A to B, that means the current flowing through A to B is still also 11 ampere. So the correct answer here is letter C, 11 ampere. Okay? So number 44. All right. What happens to current if resistance increases? Okay? This talks about the Ohm's Law. Ang sakit itong Ohm's Law. The formula for Ohm's Law is equal to current is equal to voltage over resistance. Okay? That means in this equation, si current is directly proportional to voltage. Sabot pasabot ana. If voltage increases, current will also increases. That is what it means about directly proportional. So again, in Ohm's law, current is directly proportional to the voltage. That means kung mag-increase yung voltage, ayan, si current will also increase. And yung relationship naman ni current at saka ni resistance in Ohm's law is indirectly proportional. What does it mean? So when resistance increases, kay indirectly proportional man, si current will decrease. Okay? However, if let me have another color. However, if si resistance decreases, si current will increase. So they are directly proportional. Unlike sa relationship ni current and voltage, which is directly proportional, so when voltage increases, current also increases. Okay? So The question is asking what happens to current, which is I, if resistance increases. So if mag-increase ng resistance, mag-decrease si current. So the correct answer is letter A. 45. Which of the following statements does not represent Ohm's law? A, B, C, or D? Again, Ohm's law is equal to current is equal to voltage over resistance. Okay? So, the correct answer here is letter D. Okay? Kaya it's mali man. Current is equal to resistance times potential difference. It's incorrect. Okay, letter A, yung ratio daw ni current o ni potential difference by the way is voltage. Okay, the same with V. So yung ratio daw ni voltage at saka ni current are constant, meaning they are directly proportional. So that is correct. Okay? The same with letter B, gibaliktad lang na sila. Yung ratio ni potential difference will affect, okay, for example, mag-increase ang potential difference or yung voltage, mag-increase po ang current. So it's still constant. Correct hapon. Letter C, this is potential difference is equal to current times resistance. This is also true. This is a derivation of the Ohm's law if we're going to get the voltage. So, by the way, we have here this triangle. Same with density natin na triangle before. Okay, so we have here I, V, and R. If we're going to look for I, or current, we will divide voltage and resistance. Okay? If we're going to look for resistance, we will divide voltage and current. And if we're going to get voltage, we will multiply current and resistance. So this is still correct. Potential difference of voltage is equal to current times resistance. So, again, letter D is our correct answer. 46. Which one correctly describes the diagram below? Okay? So this duha ka resistor here, ganin 3 ohms nga resistor or 6 ohms nga resistor is in parallel. Okay? And they are in series ni 9 na resistor here. Okay? So this is a combination of series and parallel nga circuit. So again, 3 ohm resistor o 6 ohms resistor are in parallel. And both of them are in series with 9 resistor here. 9 ohm resistor here. So the correct answer is letter C. 3 ohms and 6 ohm resistors are in parallel and 9 ohm resistor is in series. 47. What is the resistance of an electric bulb drawing 1.2A current and 6.05 voltage? Okay? So again, Ohm's law natin, we will have this one. We will derive the Ohm's law. So if current itong kwaon, we will divide voltage and resistance. Kung voltage itong kwaon, we will multiply current and resistance. And if resistance itong kwaon, we will divide voltage and current. And the question is asking about resistance. Okay? So resistance is equal to voltage over current. So our voltage here is equal to 6.0 volts divided by 1.2 ampere na current. And the answer for that one is 6 divided 1.2. That will be 5 ohms. So the correct answer here is letter D. 48. What happens to the current carrying ability of a wire as temperature increases? Okay, what happens to the current carrying ability of a wire as temperature increases? So if mag-increase ang temperature sa wire nga naay current, the flow, okay, the current that is being carried by that wire will be decreased. Okay, so that means the wire can carry less current. Okay, so the current carrying ability of a wire typically decreases as temperature increases. So this is best described by the phenomenon called the temperature coefficient resistance. Okay? Again, this temperature coefficient resistance describes the change in the resistance of a material with temperature. So, kung taas ang temperature, maubos ang carrying capacity niya to carry current. Pero kung ubos ang temperature, magtaas ang carrying capacity niya to carry current. 49. Okay? A 300 watts at 220 volts TV set is used as an average of 4 hours a day for 30 days. If the electrical energy cost is 1 peso and 60 cents per kilowatt hour, how much is the energy cost? So, pila daw atong mabayaran if natay TV nga 300 watts, ginapasalida nato ang TV 4 hours a day for 30 days or isa ka bulan. Okay? So, we need to solve first for the energy nga ma-consume sa ato ang 300 watts ng TV. And to get that, we need to have this formula. Energy in kilowatt hours is equal to the power in kilowatts times time in hours. Okay? So, let's say for example, we have here, may answer dito na. Okay? Let's have color. So, energy here is equal to kilowatts times hour. Okay? Okay, so we only have 300 kilowatts here. Okay? So, if you're going to convert that one into, 300 watts here. If you're going to convert that one, so 1 kilowatt is equal to 1,000 kilowatts. So, we just need to divide that one into 1,000. And the result for that one is 0.3 kilowatt. Okay? And time in hours, okay, pila ka time in hours. So, that will be 4 days. Okay? Times, 4 days. 4 hours. Okay? So, we multiply that one. Okay, 0.3 times 4 hours. Let me have the calculator here. 0.3 times 4, that will be, okay, 1.2 kilowatt hour. So, the energy here is equal to 1.2 kilowatt hour. Okay? In 1 day. Okay? In 1 day. So, we need to multiply that one into 30 days. Okay, 30 days man ta. Okay, ang 1.2 kilowatt hour is only 1 day lang na siya. Okay, 1 day only. That's the energy na iyahang makonsume. Pero kung 30 days na, so the energy in 1 month is equal to 1.2 kilowatt hour times 30. So that will be, yan. Okay, so we have here 1.2, alright, times 30, and that will be 36. So, the total energy for our TV in 1 month nga iyang makonsume is 36 kilowatt hour. Okay, kilowatt hour. And if we're going to kini ang solve na for the energy cost, we have this formula here. Energy cost is equal to the energy nga iyahang na-consume, which is this one, in 30 days, times cost per kilowatt hour. So, we have here energy cost is equal to energy, which is 36 kilowatt hour, times 1.60 pesos, and that will be, let's solve that one using our calculator. So we have here 36 times 1.60 or 1.6, and that will be 57.6 or 57.60 pesos. So yung TV natin in this example or in this question nga ginapasiga or salida 4 hours a day, in 1 month will have a cost of kini ang 57, okay, 57.6 pesos. Okay, assuming that the energy cost is 1.60. But now, a cell ko, I think it's 19 or 20 na per kilowatt hour. So, dako na. Okay? Number 50, which statement is true about a positively charged object? Pag may ingon kag positively charged object, meaning daghan siyang proton and gamay lang siya og electron. So it contains more protons than electrons. So letter B ang answer. 51, which statement about north magnetic pole of the earth is true? Okay, so this is a common conception. Let's say, for example, this is the earth and this is the Arctic Circle here. Ayan. And we have here the Antarctic Circle. Okay? So the Arctic Circle is commonly known, yung center dyan, is commonly known as the North Pole of the Earth. Okay? This is the equator. Ayan. And the Arctic Circle here is the South Pole of the Earth. Okay? Geographic South Pole, si Antarctic, and si Arctic is the geographic North Pole. However, if we're going to look Earth as a magnet, okay, if we're going to look Earth as a magnet, ayan, okay, if we're going to look Earth as a magnet, yung North Pole is by the way, is the South Magnetic Pole. Okay? So, yung geographical North Pole is the South Magnetic Pole if we are going to consider Earth as a magnet, a big magnet. And yung South Geographic na pole, yung Antarctic here, is the North, okay, Magnetic na pole. Okay, North Magnetic na pole. The reason why yung compass always yung ng compass is always pointing towards north. Ayan. Okay. Okay. So again, the reason why the compass is always pointing towards north because yung arrow ng compass here is it has a magnet which has a north pole nga magnet or north magnetic pole. So that is why it is always towards the north pole. Kaya the north pole is the the south magnetic pole ng Earth if we are going to consider Earth as a big magnet, diba? So north is attracted by south. Okay, they are both attracted by different poles are attracted by one another. Same poles is being repelled. Okay, so the reason why again compass here na north ang iyahang point sa needle. Okay, is a north magnetic na pole ang needle sa compass will point towards North Pole because North Pole is the S magnetic pole or the South magnetic pole of the Earth. Okay? So I hope that makes sense nga nung dili paubos or pa-south ang ginatutok sa compass because yung pointing arrow ng compass is in north pole sa magnet. Okay? So that is why the north pole sa magnet ng compass is attracted sa south magnetic pole sa Earth which is located in the Arctic or in the north geographic North Pole. Okay? So the correct answer here is it corresponds to the S pole of a bar magnet. Okay? So again, since the north magnetic pole ng Earth is nasa south pole or yung sa Antarctic, that means the south ang pole ng bar magnet will be attracted to the north magnetic pole ng Earth which is found in the Antarctic Circle or in the geographic South Pole. 52. An iron nail can be turned into a temporary magnet if it is held in a strong magnetic field. Which method of magnetization is this? So this is induced nga magnetic field or induction. Okay? So induction is the process of magnetizing a material by placing it in an external magnetic field. So when a ferromagnetic material, meaning we say ferromagnetic, it is being attracted by a magnet such as an iron, is placed in a magnetic field, the magnetic field induces a temporary magnetic field in the material which causes it to become magnetized. So this temporary magnetization disappears if the external magnetic field will be removed. Okay? 53. Which of the following factors affect the size of the induced current in a coil? Okay? So asa daw din ha ang makaapekto sa size sa induced current in a coil. Okay? Number of turns in the coil, yes. Pag daghan ang turns sa coil, taas pod ang ma-induce na current. Okay? Number 2, statement number 2, size of the inducing field. Okay? Yes, it will affect the induced current in a coil, yung size ng inducing field. Okay? Statement number 3, direction of the windings in the coil. No, I guess it's not. It does not affect the induced current in a coil. And number 4, resistance of the wire in the coil. It will also affect the induced current in the wire kung gaano kalaki yung resistance in the wire. So the answer is statement 1, statement 2, and statement 4, which is letter D. 54. To use the right-hand rule to predict the direction of an induced current in a coil, your thumb must point blank. Okay? So, if you still remember the kini ang right-hand rule ni Fleming, yung thumb mo should be in the direction of the induced current. Okay? Again, it should be in the direction of the induced current ang imuhang thumb. 55. When a bar magnet is inserted into a coil, a current of 12.0 ampere is induced in the coil. If your magnets of the same type, okay, the same type lang siya, okay, are inserted into the coil at the same time, what would be the induced current? What would be the induced current? Okay? So, the same raman nga magnet ang imuhang gi-insert into the coil, so the same lang po ng current ang iyahang ma-induce. So, that is letter C ang answer. Okay? There's no need for us to solve for this one. It's common sense lang. 56. Which of the following statements is correct? Okay? If the bar magnets face each other with a small separation, what happens about the force between the broken pieces? So, say for example, this bar magnet, buako na to na siya. So, again, bar magnets exist as dipole. Okay? Meaning, naidwa siya ka pole. North at saka south pole. Walay magnet nga monopole nga. Kini ang naalang siya north, wala siya south nga pole. Okay, again, magnets exist as dipole, meaning they always have north and south poles. If we're going to break this magnet here, this one here is the north pole, and on the other end will be the south pole. Okay, and this one here becomes the north pole, and this one is as south pole. Okay, so the correct answer here is there is a magnetic attractive force between the broken pieces. Yan naman. Because this one, okay, this one here becomes the south pole. And this one here becomes the north pole. So they are being attracted because they are different poles. Okay? So different poles are attracted. Same na pole is will be repelled by each other. Okay? So there is a magnetic attractive force between the broken pieces. 57. What is the direction of the magnetic field within a magnet? The direction is from north to south. Okay? Yung direction ng magnetic field lines is from north to south. 58. What is the magnetomotive force of a wire with 8 turns carrying 3 ampere of current. Okay? So the correct answer is letter B. Okay? 24 ang magnetomotive force. How do we get that one? Okay? So we use this formula. Magnetomotive force is equal to the number of turns times I, which is the current. Okay? So number of turns, 8 times current, 8 times 3. So that will be 24. Okay? So 24 ang magnetomotive force. Okay? 8 times 3 is 24 amps per turns. 59. A coil of wire is placed in a changing magnetic field. Okay? If the number of turns in the coil is decreased, what will happen to the voltage induced across the coil? Again, mas daghan og coil, mas taas ang voltage, mas taas ang current. Okay? Kung gamay lang ang coil, gamay ang voltage, gamay po ang current nga ma-induced. So, if the number of coil is being decreased, then the voltage will also decrease. Okay? 59, letter C. Ayan. So, the voltage induced in a coil is directly proportional to the number of turns in the coil. Okay? So, gamay ang coil, gamay na po ng voltage nga ma-induce. Daghan ang coil, daghan po, or dako ang coil, number of coil, mas dako po ang voltage nga ma-induce. 60. When resistors are connected in parallel, okay, letter A, the voltage across each resistor is the same. Letter B, the current flowing through each resistor is the same. Letter C, both the current through and the voltage across each resistor are equal. Letter D, neither of the current through nor the voltage across each resistor is the same. Okay? So again, in series na circuit, yung current flowing, your total current flowing through the wire is the same in each resistor, but the voltage is not. Okay, they are different in each resistor. However, in parallel, yung current in each resistor flowing across each resistor is not the same, but the voltage in each resistor in parallel is the same. So the correct answer here is letter A. The voltage across each resistor is the same. Okay? So number 1, if resistor 1 is doubled, okay, the current drawn from the voltage source decreases. The resistance of the network increases. The current in resistance 2 and resistance 3 decreases. So assuming R1, R2, and R3 are in series, okay? So kung i-double nato ang resistance ni resistor 1, okay, that means yung current, say resistor magod, iyang pugnan ang pila ang current na mo flow sa wire. Okay? So kung ma-double ang resistance sa resistor 1, meaning mag-decrease ang current nga mag-flow from the voltage. Okay? So letter A is correct. And that means the resistance of the network also increases. Kaya nagdouble man ang resistance ni R1, meaning sa network nato or sa tong circuit, the total resistance also increases. Okay? And assuming again that this is simple circuit na or series na circuit, okay? If R1 is doubled, yung current again, since ma-double ba ang R1, meaning taas yung resistance, mugamay ang current nga mo pass through to the next na nga wire. So that means yung resistance 2 and resistance 3 will experience a decrease in current flow. So the correct answer is letter D, all of the above. 62, okay, force is to Newton. Okay, yung unit ni force is Newton and electric field is to blank. So ano yung unit ni electric field? So the unit for electric field is Newton per Coulomb. Okay, ampere is the unit for current. Coulomb is the unit for charge. Newton per ampere, also known as Tesla, is the unit for magnetic field. Okay, 63. The force between two charges, okay, Q1 is 2 coulombs and Q2 is 3 coulomb, is F. Okay, what is the magnitude of F, or the force, if Q2 is replaced by negative 3 coulomb na charge? Okay, if we're going to solve for the electric force between charges, okay, wala na to consider itong positive and negative na sign. Okay? The positive and negative na sign in our charges indicates what type of charge are we dealing with. Okay? So this one, positive 3, meaning the carrier of this charge is a proton because it is a positive na charge. This one is negative na charge, which means it's an electron ang ga-carry ani nga charge because it is a negative na charge. Okay? So if we're going to solve for the force between two charges, we do not consider yung sign ng ating mga charge because again, it does not mean that this one is a negative number, a positive number, and this one is a negative number. No, it's not. Okay? Again, in charges, positive 3 is not a positive number and negative 3 is not a negative number, but yung negative at saka positive there, it only tells us about what type of charge are we talking about. Okay? So if we are going to replace positive 3 na charge o negative 3 coulomb na charge, the answer is still the same. Okay? Again, we do not consider this one kay they are not indicator if 3 here is a positive number and 3 here is a negative number. Okay, so in calculating, we do not consider the sign. So the force, even though ato ang ilisdan og negative 3 na charge ang charge 2, the answer is still the same with F, or the same with the force nga ato ang i-compute kung both are positive ang ato ang charge. So the correct answer is letter C, equal to F. 64. What happens to the force between two protons if their separation distance is doubled? Okay? So again, what happens to the force between two protons if their separation distance is doubled? So we have here again the Coulomb's law equation for electric charge na force. So we have here the K, or the Coulomb Constant, which is equal to 8.99 to the power of negative 19 ata. Okay? And we have here the distance, which is squared. Okay? So if we're going to double the distance between the two, okay? Okay, again, if we are going to double the distance ng dalawang charge, let's say for example, first charge natin, si charge A has a charge of 3 by 10 microcoulomb, and charge B has for example 4 by 10 microcoulomb lang gihapon. Okay, and they are separated. Okay, separated sila, yung distance ng dalawa, let's say for example is 0.5 meters. Okay, 0.5 meters. So if we're going to solve for the force ng dalawa at 0.5 meters, okay, so we have F is equal to, K is equal to 8.99 by 10 raised to the power of 9 newtons times meter squared over coulomb squared. Tapos charge 1 natin, which is 3 by 10 to negative 6 times charge 2 is 4 by 10 to negative 6 coulomb gihapon. divided by, okay, divided by distance, which is 0.5 meters squared. Okay, so let us first solve this one. Let's have our calculator. All right, so we have here this one, 8.99 times 10 to the power of 9, okay, times 3 microcoulomb. Okay, 3 microcoulomb. I'm sorry. Alright, delete. Yes, sir. 3 micro. Okay, delete. Alright, 3 microcoulomb. Alright, times 4 microcoulomb. Okay, divided by, basta, okay, 0.5, okay, squared. Let's put this one in parentheses. Okay. Wait. Okay. So we have here squared. Squared. Ito. So the answer will be 0. Okay. Where's my pen? So the force ng dalawa, okay, to, is 0.43152. Okay. 0.43152. Okay. So we have here Coulomb. Okay. So cancel natin yung dalawang Coulomb. Cancel natin yung meter squared. So the unit that is left is Newton. Okay. So we have here 0.4315 Newton. Okay. If the distance is 0.5 meters between the two. However, if you're going to double the distance, so double ng 0.5 meters, that will be 1. What will be the answer to have? Okay. So let's change this one. Oh, we cannot edit na. Napangit. Okay. So let's start again from the beginning. So we have here 8.99 times 10 raised to the power of positive 9. Okay. Multiplied by 3 coulombs, 3 microcoulomb. Okay, negative 6. We have here 4 microcoulomb, power of negative 6. Alright. Divided by, okay, divided by 1 meters squared, and the answer will be this one. Okay, so if we are going to, this is at 0.5 meters na force. So yung force at 1 meter is equal to, we have here 0.107888. 0.107888. Okay? So nag-increase. Okay? Nag-increase 4 times, no? I'm sorry, nag-increase. Nag-decrease 4 times. Okay? So 4 here, yung force between, so the charges at 0.5 meters is 0.43152 newtons. And then kung ato nang i-double ang distance between the two, okay, nalang tayo 0.1788. Okay. So nag-decrease in to the fourth, no? Ang decrease, or it is being quartered na that. Say for example, divide natin 0.43152 divided by 0.10788. And the answer is 4. So, if we're going to double the distance between the two charges, okay, the force will be quartered. Okay, kaya it reduces in 4 times, no, nag-reduce. So, it is being quartered ang force if we are going to um, double the distance between the two charges. So, quartered, okay, again, this one decreases 4 times. Okay? Okay, 65. The force between two charges is 20 Newton. If the magnitude of the charges is reduced to half, what is the magnitude of the force between them? Okay? So, this one, you cannot really solve this one if you will not assume. Okay? You will not assume. So, disregard natin yung 20 newtons. Let's have our own kini ang example in how to solve this one. So, say for example, force is equal to 8.99 by 10 to the power of 9. Ayan. Let's say for example, the first charge is, for example, we have here 4 Coulomb. And the second charge is, for example, 6 Coulomb. Okay? And these two charges are separated by a distance of 0.5 meters and squared. Okay, so this is just an assumption, ha? It's not really, it's not really will result into 20 newtons. So this is just an assumption. So let's have our calculator here. So we have here 8.99 by 10 raised to the power of positive 9, okay, times 4 times 6 divided by, that will be 0.5 squared, and the answer will be this one. Okay, 8.6304 to the power of 11, 8.06304, 6,304, 6,304, 6,304 by 10 to negative. No, it's not negative, it's positive, right? Let me erase that one first. Where's the eraser? Erase. To negative 11, right? 11 newtons. Okay. However, if we are going to decrease the charges in half, let's say for example, we have 8.99 by 10 to the power of 9. So, i-decrease na to or reduce into half ang 4 Coulomb. So, this will be 2 coulombs. 6 Coulomb will be 3 Coulomb. As is lang yung distance nilang dalawa, which is 0.5 meters squared. So, what will be the answer? Let's go back again to our calculator. So, it's 11 here. Erase that one. Power of 11. Okay. So, this should be 11. Let's go back to our calculator. Ayan. 8.6004. Okay. So, say for example, again, we reduce 4 coulombs into 2 coulombs, 6 coulombs into 3 coulombs. Constant yung distance nila. Okay, so we have here 8.99 times 10 to the power of positive 9 times 2 times 3 divided by squared of 0.5, and the answer will be, okay, 2.1576. 2.1576 is equal to 2.1576 by 10, 11 newtons. Okay, so this is the answer if we are going to reduce in half, okay, yung charges natin. Okay, so keep natin yan. Backman ta. Okay. So, ano yung pinagkaiba na? What's the difference between the force ng dalawa if we reduce now the unsa na? Reduce now the charges into half. So, yung force here becomes 4 times lower compared to this one, right? 8 and 2. So, it's 4 times lower. Okay, let me divide that one. Yeah, the answer for that one is 4, right? So, that means if 20 yung force natin, 20 Newton yung force natin, if reduced to half the charges, we need to divide 20 by 4 because here, na-reduce siya 4 times. Okay? So, we need to reduce 24 times. So, we need to divide 20 newtons by 4 and the correct answer here is letter D, which is 5 Newton. Okay? Ayan. So, letter D is 5 Newton. Okay? Just assume. Okay? Because we don't have, we only have the force here, we don't have the charges. So, we just have to assume, we will follow this one, the formula, the equation, and then we decrease the charges into half, 4 into 2, 6 into 3, and the result of the difference between the two forces, if we reduce the first kini ang charges into half, okay, and the second charge into half, the force will be reduced 4 times. Okay, so 20 reduced na to 4 times, or 20 divided 4 will be 5 newtons. Okay, so number 66, what is the total resistance of the circuit if all resistors are equal to 5 ohms? So this one is 5 ohms, this one is 5 ohms, this one is also 5 ohms. Okay, so in series, okay, ayan, in series, the total na resistance is equal to resistance 1 plus resistance 2 plus resistance 3, so on and so forth. Okay? But in parallel na circuit, okay, the total resistance or the equivalent resistance is equal to this one, 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3, okay, R3, etc., raised to the power of -1. Okay? So that's the formula for parallel. So here, resistance 2 and resistance 3 are in parallel. So we need to get this first, the equivalent resistance ng dalawa, and then i-add nato sa resistance sa series because R1 is in series. Okay? It's not in parallel. So R1 is in series, R2 and R3 are in parallel. So for example, we solve for the equivalent resistance ni R2 and R3. So that will be 1 over, which is R2, 5 ohms, plus 1 over R3, gihapon still 5 ohms, divided by, raised to the power of -1. Okay? So the answer for this one, itong inang i-plus, is, let's have our calculator. Okay, so this one here we have, okay, yeah, let's add first parentheses. All right, okay, parentheses, no, okay, so we have here 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5. And the answer for that one is 2 over 5. Okay, so we have here 2, okay, 2 over 5 raised to the power of 1. You, kung wala kay scientific calculator, just like what you did, pag ingani 2 over 5 to the -1 raised to the power of -1, you just have to reverse the fraction, and that will become 5 over 2. Okay? So 5 divide 2, that will be 2.5. Okay? So the equivalent resistance ni resistor 2 and resistor 3 is 2.5 ohms. Okay? So 2.5 ohms plus 5 ohms. So in total, sa resistance nato sa ato ang circuit here, in total is 5 plus 2.5 ohms, that will be 7.5 ohms. So again here, the total resistance is equal to 7.5 ohms in this circuit. Okay? Number 67. Okay, the same lang gihapon. Okay? What is the total current drawn out of this source? Okay. So again, we have total voltage. Okay, total voltage is equal to 10 volts. And then the total resistance is 7.5, right? Ohms. Okay, let me check with the previous na. Yan, 7.5 yung total resistance natin. Okay. And we need to get the total current. Okay, Ohm's law, current is equal to, okay, voltage divided by resistance. Total voltage divided by resistance. So the total voltage is 10 volts divided by 7.5 ohms. And the answer is, okay, we're going to divide that one. That will be 1.33, okay, ampere. So the correct answer here is letter C. Okay, letter C. 68. What is the voltage across R3? Okay, ano na yung voltage across R3? Now, if you can still remember, in parallel na circuit, yung total voltage is equal to the voltage in each resistor. Okay? However, there is one nga in series here nga resistor. Okay? So that means in series kasi yung voltage in every resistor are not the same because there will be voltage drop if kini ang it will pass through a resistor. Okay? So here, let's say for example here, ilan yung voltage nga naa sa ato ang resistance 1 here. Okay? So the resistance 1 here, for example, again, this is 5 ohms, right? 5 ohms. And the current flowing through this wire here is 1.33 ampere. Yung isolve nato againa, which is 1.33 ampere. So what will be the voltage here, okay, in this resistor? So resistor 1. So again, if Ohm's law, we have here this one. I'm sorry. We have here erase. Here our triangle. Ayan. So current is equal to voltage over R. So kung voltage atong kuhaon, voltage is equal to, we have here, so voltage resistance 1 is equal to current times the resistance. And current here again is 1.33 amps, okay, times the resistor 5 ohms. Let me rewrite that one para dili libog tan-awan. Alright, kay libog na daan ang ato ang question. Okay, so 1.33 times 5 ohms, that will be 6.65. Okay, so yung voltage at kini ang resistor 1 is 6.65 volts. Okay, so at, I'm sorry, yeah, 6.65 volts. It's 6.65, not 55. Okay, we have here 6.65. Okay, so here, kay ang voltage nga magawas din niya ay 6.65 volts naman. So that means yung voltage nga padulong po din niya are the same because they are now in parallel. So we have here still 6.65 voltage, and yung sa RT is also 6.65 voltage. Okay, 6.65 voltage. Kaya in parallel, okay, yung equivalent na voltage or na total voltage is equal or the same in each resistor. So the correct answer here is letter B. Alright, 69, what is the current in R2? Okay, now remember the current flowing in this direction is 1.33 ampere as what we have solved kanina. Okay, so the same lang gihapon here, 1.33 ampere, but since we have here kini ang na resistor, no, so yung 1.33 ampere will split into two. Okay, some of the current will flow in resistor 2 and other currents will flow into resistor 3. Okay, so 1.33 will split into half. Okay, so 1.33 divided by 2, so the current flowing in resistor 2 will be 0.67, and also the current flowing in resistor 3 will also be 0.67. Okay, ampere. So the correct answer here is letter A, 0.67. Okay, because again they have the same man nga ohms or resistance, 5 ohms. This one is also 5 ohms. So the same na pod ang current nga flow kang resistor 2 and resistor 3. Again, nag-split ang 1.33 divided by 2, that will be 0.67 or 0.665. Okay, ato anang i-round off. If you're going to 1.33 divided by 2, the answer for that one is 0.0665, or round off nato, it was 0.67. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C. 70, last number. In the laboratory, to verify the current in a resistor, so we will use ammeter, right? To measure current, we use ammeter. So it's either letter A or letter C. Okay, kay ammeter man. Pero kung voltage, voltmeter ato ang gamitan. Okay, it's either letter A or letter C. An ammeter is connected in series with the resistor, and an ammeter is connected parallel to the resistor. So let's say for example, this one is the voltage. Natay resistor din ha. Okay. So if you're going to kini ang measure the current sa resistor 1, okay, dapat yung ammeter is connected in series. For example, we have here the ammeter, duha man ka wire. So one of the wire here sa ammeter, nobra na. Okay, one of the wire sa ammeter is ato ang ibutang in series kang resistor 1, or before kang resistor 1 ang isa ka wire, and the other wire should be connected at the after the resistor 1. So it should be in series. So letter A ang answer. So that's it for thermodynamics, electricity, and magnetism. I hope you have learned something from our discussion. Goodbye and thank you.